This is Sandra Swan with Sandra Swan Star Power, and we spotlight people who are doing remarkable things in the culture, and they are Christians shining the light of Christ into our culture. And Sam Sorbo has definitely shined her light into lots of places in films, in books. She's a speaker. She's got an incredible background as an actress. She's married to Kevin Sorbo, who was Hercules, right? Isn't that
That's
where you
correct.
met on the set or something?
We met on the set. I played a princess. Life imitates art.
That's great. I love that. That's a great love story. So what we usually do is we introduce people to their faith background. So I know you wanted to tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Lord, and then how that motivated and changed your career and your outlook. And so take it from there and let us know
Yeah,
what
well,
your story is.
I love to share this because with any luck, it inspires other people. We when we hear other people's stories, I think we get inspired and sort of put ourselves a little bit in their shoes or something like that. And so I was raised in a largely secular household as a Jew, but we celebrated Christmas and Easter using the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus.
Oh,
And
wow.
so there wasn't a lot of faith going on.
Okay.
It was just celebrating for the sake of celebration, and so I sort of walked away when I was 12, 13 years old. I got sort of fed up with the youth groups and stuff at the synagogue, just because I was an outsider. My mother wasn't involved, and so then I wasn't really involved because that's sort of the way it worked. Is the moms got together and they got the girls together and stuff like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
fast forward to uh, Duke University. I was in school and I was working on an ulcer because I was so stressed.
Mm.
Because I've been raised to make a lot of money. Like the goal in life is to make a lot of money. That's the goal in the schools. That's what college prep and career readiness means.
Hmm.
And that's what my mother had trained me to do. She was a single mother of four young baby girls when she was sort of cast out on her own and had to make
Mm.
a way in the world and
Wow.
without a college degree. And so I was just raised to go and make a lot of money. And that's what I was trying to do. But I was so anxious about getting good grades
Hmm.
because that's the only way you make money is you got to
Yeah.
get the good grades, right?
Yeah. And go to the right
I,
college, which you did.
yeah. And so I had to take a year off from school. And during
Mm.
that year, I ended up haphazardly, I just ended up modeling, which got me a lot of money. And so then I had a choice. I went back to school, but I realized that school was a lot easier because the anxiety had left,
Mm.
because I'd already made it in the real world. And so I took a moment and I considered, do I want to do this one thing and put the blinders on and only do this one thing,
Hmm.
and go into a severe amount of debt because, medical school is a lot of debt and stuff? Or did I literally want to do like everything else in the world that I ever wanted to do, plus make a lot of money? And I just went the pragmatic choice. I want to make a lot of money and
Yeah.
travel and learn foreign language and so that's what I ended up doing. And that led me to this realization that money is not happiness. It's not at all the same thing,
Hmm.
that success cannot be defined by money because there's so much more to life than money. And that led me on a quest for
Mm.
meaning, because I was at a point where I was like, okay, so if this is it, then just I might as well just off myself. I won, like I got the prize or whatever,
Hmm.
but
Right.
I'm not happy. I don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so I went on a search, and that's how I discovered that there is a God in the universe who had a son, Jesus Christ, who died and was resurrected on the third day.
How did that conflict with your family coming from a Jewish background? Were they open, or did you end up sharing that at all with them or not?
Well, they knew about Mike. They just thought they basically saw me as, you know, unique on my own path.
Hmm.
They didn't show any great amount of interest.
Oh.
There was a lot of other dynamics in there that we don't need to get into, and
Hmm.
and I don't think I think it disturbed my mother because
Mm.
she had raised me to be Jewish, even though she wasn't. So I think it was maybe disturbing for her. I'm not really sure. So
Hmm. So did you encounter Christ in college?
no,
After college?
yeah. The closest I came in college was I had a professor who was great, surprisingly great.
Huh.
And it turned out that he was an ordained minister.
Oh, wow.
But the religion never came up in the classroom, which is, frankly, that is part of the problem with the Protestant church is we don't proselytize, we don't evangelize. We've been cowed from the, marketplace of public opinion or public
Hmm.
speech.
Intimidated is the word.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
have been, yeah.
And so no, it was my own little search that I started to do. I eventually asked a girlfriend if she went to church, and she was like mortified to be asked that question. That's not a question that you ask people in LA, but she did go to church. And so she was like, well, yeah, I mean, I do. Why? I said, I'd like to go with you. Do you think I could go with you? And her story was that she had stepped away from the church because her church insisted that she go and evangelize and proselytize people. And she was like, I don't want to do that. And so when I asked her to take me to church, she was like, well, if that's what you mean, God, I guess I could do that. So she brought me to church. And for the first several months, I was in church going, every time they said Jesus, I would like think, oh, but they just mean God. That's just their word for God. Like it's all the same. Like it's just. And then eventually I read the Bible and I was like, oh, dang. Oh, snap. That's on me. So yeah. And then fast forward to once I realized that when you discover God, maybe in that way, I don't know if it's unique to me, but I realized that life is about relationship.
Hmm.
It's not about the money.
Yeah.
And so I met Kevin on the set of Hercules and just fell in love with him. And then he got very ill, and I was faced with a binary choice because I got the best job you could ever hope for, but he was in intensive care.
Wow.
And so I had the choice. I could go for the money, and it was a lot of money, and it was a
Yeah.
great job, or I could stay with him. And I understood in that moment that it was either give up my career or give him up
Mm.
because I didn't think either relationship would survive the, and I'll use this word, the betrayal,
Hmm.
right? Either way, it was a betrayal of one thing. It was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And so I sacrificed my career to have the marriage that I have today. And of course,
And
I wouldn't do it
family.
all over again.
And
And the
God blessed
family.
you
Yeah,
abundantly. Yeah. For
exactly.
that choice.
So that was a big, and so that leads me then to the next sort of epiphany in my life, the next binary choice. I was we were married for over 5 years, and we moved back to LA with three little children. And I decided to start auditioning again because why not? Here I'm back in LA. Kevin's healthy. Kids are fine. We'll get a nanny. And I started auditioning. And about the third audition I came home from, my little toddler runs up to me with her little finger out and she says, no, 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 no. And I'm
Wow.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I pick her up, I put her on my hip, and she turns to the nanny and she says, bye bye.
Oh.
And there you have it. And I
Mm.
realized
Powerful.
I can have my career or I can have my family. See, I think it's on us
Mm-hmm.
that we think that these are difficult choices. And I think partly we think that they're difficult choices because we've been taught to think poorly about relationship
Mm-hmm.
and only in the affirmative towards anything that is money oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
that
you're
comes from
either
our
serving the
schools.
God of this world through money, or you're in the kingdom of light. And that's what Jesus focused on was relationships. So you really were following what Christ was teaching all of us, really.
Yeah, and I felt actually so blessed that my daughter was capable of communicating to me that this was another choice that I had to make,
Mm.
that I couldn't have it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And because the world tells us, oh, you can have it all, you can have it both ways. You can do the career and have the wonderful long enduring relationships with your children. I don't think you can.
No.
Children spell love Time,
Right.
not iPad,
Mm-hmm.
not, baseball game. Like that's all that can all be part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
they need the time input
Yes.
because they've never done a relationship before. But we tend
Mm-hmm.
to think of relationships with children the way we consider relationships with other adults. But other adults have been in the relationship game for a long time and they know what they're doing. They know
Mm-hmm.
the markers. Oh, you called me. That was so sweet of you. A kid doesn't understand that. A kid doesn't understand why you didn't call 8 times,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so they're operating in a sense at a deficit, and you have to show up. You
Mm-hmm.
can't phone it in. Um, Sorry
That's
for
a
the
good
analogy.
term. I like
That
that
was a
one.
bit of
Yeah.
a so so that's when I started to take my children more seriously, and we moved for the schools, and that was not successful. And after my oldest son finished second grade, I said to my husband, I think I could probably fail at homeschooling him, but he'd still be better off. And the reason I said that then, that was before Common Core,
Hmm.
was because the relationships that he was forming in the schools were taking precedence over our relationships at home. More time in the schools,
Mm-hmm.
better time, higher quality time in
Yeah.
the schools with the other children. And I'm not even saying the teachers, with the other children.
Mm-hmm.
And so those children replaced the family. That's why our families are decimated today, is
Yeah.
because our schools have replaced the family, have supplanted the family. And
Yep.
of course, our culture has removed fathers from the households as well.
Yeah.
And so we tried homeschooling. I said to Kevin, I'll just try it for like the first couple months till Christmas. We'll see.
And how were you introduced to homeschooling? How did you know about what was going on in that arena?
I I had been exposed to homeschooling through various people. And so I had seen other homeschoolers. I went to a couple homeschool park days. Like I knew that homeschooling was sort of out there, but I
Okay.
never thought that I was going to be doing it.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's cool that those freaks want to do that thing. Looks like a lot of work. I was like, no, thanks. I'm good. We're moving. We're going to
Yeah.
the good little public
We're gonna
school.
go to the good schools in the right
Never mind that
neighborhoods.
there aren't any.
Yeah.
Sorry, there
Yeah.
aren't any. And if you want more information, by the way, I'll give a shameless plug for my book, Parents
Yeah.
Guide to
Go ahead.
Homeschool. Parents Guide
Yes.
to Homeschool is the guidebook for how to get your head around what homeschooling is and how to get
Mm-hmm.
started. And frankly, how to continue. I mean, it sets the table, it sets the stage for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it with that in mind because I can't tell you the number of people who say, "Oh, I could never homeschool." And I say to them, "Okay, what is that? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What is it that you can't do?" And by the way, we ought to be cognizant of how easily we almost brag about our inabilities today. That's not an American ideal. That's not an
No.
American tradition. That is inherited from the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Schools train us to feel incompetent and to almost be proud of it. And so
Mm-hmm.
parents are like, oh, I just don't even know. I'm like, okay, so what is it that you don't know? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I don't know. Well, then how do you know that you can't do it? You
Yeah.
don't even know what it is. That's really sad. You're
It
giving up
is.
before you even know what you're giving up.
Exactly.
So,
Well, I understand that. My daughter was in junior high and she would have some horrible experiences at school and she would come home and say, "Would you homeschool me? Would you homeschool me?" And she was in junior high. And so we pulled her out and we started homeschooling her in junior high, both of them. And of course, that's a difficult transition time for any teenagers, that 12, 13, 14 age group. So I'm familiar with the homeschooling, and we actually had to apply, go through the process to get approved. Of course, we were both college graduates, so we didn't really have any problem. But
yeah,
he
I
did the
wasn't.
math, I did the reading.
I wasn't, and my husband wasn't. I mean, by their metrics, we're idiots. Okay, I'll take it. Uh, here's the
Well,
key. The
where were you when you had to qualify to be homeschool parents? And
California,
oh,
there's no qualification.
oh,
There's no require. Different states have different requirements, and
Okay.
California is one of the easiest
Oh,
states in which to home educate. They did try outlawing it for a short while, but they got so severely lambasted for doing that that they reversed it. And I mean, it was challenged in the courts, and it just wouldn't hold up.
yeah.
Although we are potentially on our way to losing our right to homeschool,
Well, that
state by
leads us to
state.
your next book. They're your kids.
Yes, that was the first book that I wrote. That book is it's a breakdown of the problems that we have in our schools, what's wrong with our schools, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
my story of how I started homeschooling and how I got it done, and the mistakes that I made and the accidental wins that I had and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So that's really just a glimpse into what it's like to be a homeschooler. I'm told people love that book. They love the beginning because it really sets the stage for understanding really what's wrong with our schools.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part just sort of sets people free, and they go, well, if she can do it, I guess I can too.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can. It's biblical. God didn't give you your children so that you would send them away from you.
Right.
He gave them to you. He entrusted them to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, teach them my words when you walk by the by, when you lie down to sleep, when you wake in the morning,
Yep.
and all of those good things. And so I have ultimate faith in parents. I think that parents who say that they lack patience are bragging that they lack one of the virtues, and they should be very careful in that and
Mm-hmm.
just proclaiming that they lack a virtue rather than saying, well, I really need to work on my patience,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, is absolutely doable. I did. I had to work on my patience. And I believe that that's why our children are given to us to grow us
Mm-hmm.
and to make us better people.
Yeah.
And I think now we're seeing sort of the fruits of us refusing the lessons that God has for us by
Mm.
sending our kids to school, and we don't
Well, they're
become
leaving
better
in
people.
droves now because of the agenda by the NEA. So, they're going to lose their federal funding because I mean, they are. Parents are pulling their kids out of public schools here in Virginia, which Michael
Yes.
Ferris and the Homeschool Legal Defense organization was launched. So, yeah, they're realizing that they're trying to lead these children down the wrong path. So, bravo for you for standing up in the culture, writing these books. And then you wrote another one called War with Words.
Words for Warriors
Words for Warriors. There we
is a
go.
it's kind of a lexicon. It's kind of a dictionary for people. I felt
Okay.
so they're changing the definitions of our words to the point where we can't define woman anymore. We can't
Oh, yeah.
define man.
Yeah.
And I just said, enough's enough. I'm putting it in a book,
Mm-hmm.
not those words in particular, but a lot of the other words that they've changed the definition of proficiency. I don't know if you know this, but in the schools, they can now claim proficiency with a 36% test score in the
No, I
state of
didn't know
Ohio.
that.
And 36% is not proficient.
No.
But if they just change the definition, they can basically say anything that they want. And even though the words are lies, because they've changed the definitions, they get away with it. And they can say,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't lying. 36% is
Mm-hmm.
proficient now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
so I wrote that book, but my latest project has been leading tours. I've led two to the Holy Land with my husband, and we just led our first trip to Greece this past year, and we're leading another one this September. I'm
Yeah, tell
very
us about that
excited.
one. I wanted to make sure everyone knew that you've got one coming up, and so give us an overview of what that's going to entail.
So it starts in Athens, and we have a couple of days in Athens to sightsee around Athens because, as I'm sure you're aware, Athens is full of fabulous things to see, just incredible
Mm.
history there. And then we get on a ship, and the ship does the Mediterranean all the way to Turkey. So we will be going to Ephesus, where I haven't been yet. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, when you pull a group together, what we've discovered is when you travel with Christians, there's a camaraderie that just forms naturally because we all understand that we're jumping off from the same point of
Hmm.
understanding,
Yeah.
worldview. And on our last Greece trip, we had one of the gals came up to me and she said, "Listen, I just want to tell you, I am never going on a non-Christian tour again. This was so much better than the last tour that I did.
Right.
And it's because there were so many issues between the different worldviews in their bus or whatever.
Hmm.
So this should be good. I actually love cruising. I took my first cruise about a year and a half ago, and I've just really started to enjoy it. So we decided. So our first trip was not a cruise to Greece, but this one is, and so we will see some of the just the Grecian islands, but also
Hmm.
the historical places. So you get enough history, but also some tourism stuff, and then some fellowship. We'll be doing Bible study and stuff like that on the tour on the ship.
Sounds fabulous. Yeah.
It's going to be really a great thing. And then I, uh, I have, I managed to put friends in there. I have a lot of friends who decide to join us on these tours. We have people who went. This one person did both trips to Israel. The trip last year to Greece has already signed up for this one. So, if that's not a testimony to how much fun we have, I don't know what is.
Sure. Yeah, you better sign up quickly, right? Because it could fill up.
I
Does
wouldn't wait if
no.
and it's coming up fast actually. It's this
Yeah,
September.
September.
So, and you
Where
can go to sorbocruise.com. It's just
okay.
the two words, our last name and then cruise for cruise ship, sorbocruise.com, and all the information's there. Um, the add-on I think is Athens. If you don't want to do Athens, you don't have to. Some
That's the
people,
land tour, right?
that's the land part of the tour. Some people
Yeah,
have done Athens. They're like, oh, I did Athens. I'll just do the cruise. That's fine. We'd love to have you.
it sounds wonderful. Wow. Well, that's going to be an incentive, especially if you're a homeschool parent and you want to educate your kids about
Oh my
history.
gosh. What a great trip for families.
Yes.
So our first trip to Israel, we took the whole family. Did we take them on the second trip? I'm trying to think. We
Hmm.
might have, because it's such an amazing time. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they came on the second
Talk
trip
about a
also.
field trip.
Exactly. And of course, I'm all about that. So that's fun. It's
That's the
just
best
fun.
part of homeschooling.
You
A real,
know, it is an amazing thing that we've lost sight of in our culture. This idea that God gives us our children to give us a different perspective on the world, to broaden our perspectives, to
yeah,
soften us, to give us patience, to teach
yeah.
us patience and understanding. And I think, you know, we lose that at our peril. And I think we've started to lose that. So, I mean, we lack discernment because the schools don't teach discernment. I could
Hmm.
go through the very important lessons that a parent imparts to the children just
Hmm.
from day to day experience that we lose when we put our children in an institution with a so-called teacher.
Mm.
Nothing against teachers, but they're not like a real person going through real everyday things. Everything is concocted in a school.
Hmm.
Everything is this manufactured importance. Okay.
Yeah.
And what really ought to happen is the kids ought to see mom dealing with funeral arrangements for grandma, for instance,
Hmm.
or dad, you know, mowing the lawn and getting the tree cutter guy to come and help cut the trees, you know, or whatever. Like the day-to-day things
Hmm.
where we see the parents, the children see the parents living life.
Yeah.
And so now we have a new term. It didn't make it into my book. I don't think. Actually, I should check on that. The
Yeah.
new term is adulting.
Oh, I like that.
Why do we have this verb to adults? Is because the kids are graduating college not knowing how to do the most basic things like
You're
pay your
right.
taxes.
Yep.
Whereas if the kids were staying at home and being with the parents, they'd know tax season. Well, what is tax season? Well, let me show you, dear, because this
Yeah.
is tons of fun. I have to take all of these expenses and I have to, you know. And
Yeah.
so the kids have at least a smattering, at least an idea of
Hmm.
what these things are.
Or how to take care of a house or how to do
Right.
housework.
How to
I mean,
call a plumber. Oh, I
yeah.
need to get the plumber in because we've got a leak or whatever. Yeah,
Or how to
exactly.
watch the news and ask an intelligent question. Should I believe everything this person is telling me just because they're sitting in a news chair? That was my favorite thing to do. Do you believe everything they're telling you?
Point out, you know, parents, you don't know what you're missing.
Hmm.
You have no idea the greatness that you're sacrificing when you drop your kids off at school.
Yeah, it's
We don't
fun.
even consider what we're missing. We think,
Right.
oh, this is a net gain. I'm
Yeah.
dropping my kids off at school. They will get an education. I get free time. Net win for everybody. No, it's a net
Hmm.
loss. And it's very hard to convince people of that because the schools have been very persuasive for 13 years on all of us that it was good for us.
Hmm.
Even though deep in our hearts, in our heart of hearts, probably, most of us know it really wasn't that good for us.
Mm-mm.
And I excelled at school. Wasn't that good for me? Did
Yeah.
not enjoy it. Was not great. And yet, still, even for me, I was thinking all my kids should go to college because college is good, right?
Hmm.
But not really. That ship has sailed. College used to be maybe something. It's not that anymore. It's
No,
not even
you're
close to
right.
that anymore.
No, absolutely. It's really it's become an institution for social change.
Yeah, we're training, worker bees.
Hmm.
We're basically slaves, right? Slaves to the dollar. And, don't stand up for anything lest you lose your job. Okay. And so we have a whole population now of
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
Why do you think social media is so big? Everybody's a follower,
Right. No,
you
I'm a
know?
leader, right? You're a leader. You're a
I
leader.
try.
We're not a follower. You are. You're a leader. So,
I'm a leader. I don't know how many people follow me, but I'm a leader. Actually, you know
well,
what? I'll just throw this out there. I can't count the number of people who have come up to me to thank me for convincing them to homeschool. I
that's
cannot
great.
count the
That's
number.
great.
And it brings tears to my eyes because
Hmm.
they doubt, they doubt, they doubt. And they finally take the plunge. And then 3 years later, they find me somewhere. You spoke at this place and you said, pull them out tomorrow. And this one in particular, I remember. I'm like, pull her out. What are you doing? Pull her out. It's not good for
Yeah.
her. Stop
Yeah.
it. Stop.
Right.
Wake up.
Stop.
Snap out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think
And
sometimes you need someone who has been down that road to encourage you
yes,
and to say, it's
sure.
okay. I'm
And
going to
I'm
be there to
happy. That's
support
my
you.
service. That's what I do. I'm happy to do it. And so I'm
When you're
doing
the
it for,
cheerleader for them, you've got
right.
to have somebody cheering in your corner because you might not have a supportive husband. You might not have a supportive family that's going to help you or a community. So you've
Yeah.
got to find your cheerleaders to help you make that step
Yep.
and
There are a
take the
lot of
courage.
doubters out there casting shade.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, after meeting Braden on this Jesus Freaks
Oh, yeah.
movie, which you were in, and Kevin, and we love that movie. But Braden is so well spoken, so intelligent. I was so impressed with him. And I said, I can see the influence that your mother had, on him because he's got his own. Yes, give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, here he is, a young guy, and he's got his podcast going, and he's such an intelligent, easy to talk to young man. So I haven't met your other two children, but I did meet Braden. I was definitely impressed. So you're going to
Yeah.
be taking the Greece tour, so we want to make sure everyone gets on that tour and signed up quickly because it sounds like it's filling up.
Yep.
And then, what's your website if we want to encourage people to get the books? You've got a great
Sorbo,
website.
sorbostudios.com. You can
Hmm.
find everything there. And sorbocruise.com for the tour. But the
Okay.
tour is also on our website if you navigate over to it. So it's all
Okay.
easy to find. We
All
don't
right.
hide it. We're not hiding anything.
Well, it looks very, very exciting, and I love all the photos. In the footsteps of the Apostle Paul Cruise. That's a great title.
Yep.
Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out. And I'm looking forward to getting some feedback, and we'll push this out there and make sure that cruise fills up really fast.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been
Kudos
such a
to you
pleasure.
for taking such great steps of faith for homeschoolers. That took a lot of courage. And to be an actress and a mother and a wife and how many other roles, right?
I'm just doing what God put me here to do.
Well, you're doing a great job of it.
Thank
You
you.
really are. So
God
thank you
bless.
so much for being on the show today. Okay.
Thanks.
God bless you.